are you? My name is Joanie. This is Weathered Wings, and I am here to help you, or hopefully inspire you to create something pretty for your home. Okay, we're going to do something easy today. We're going to do a little paint wash, and then we're going to stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and pull you down. So I found these little plaques at an antique store, and I think they're just kind of like they have something screen printed on them, and I'm gonna just paint right over it, and I'm using Sandy Blonde paint here by DIY. DIY is a clay-based paint, so it pretty much covers anything. All I did was just kind of wipe these down. And you can see that they already came with the little embellished pieces, the little trim pieces, but you could very easily replicate this with some IOD molds. I think, these are just little fleur-de-lis appliques on there, and there is a fleur-de-lis mold. And then the little trim piece, you could use the trim mold, or you could actually use the little beaded part of the Classic Elements mold. So I'm just going to give both plaques just one coat of the Sandy Blonde, and then I'm going to dry it with the heat gun really quick, and then we're going to do a paint wash. So as I dry this with my heat gun, you can see that DIY paint dries a good bit lighter, but that's until you put a top coat on there. So once you top coat it with wax or a polyacrylic, then it will come back to the true color that you see in the jar. Now I'm just mixing up my paint with a little bit of water, because that's all that a paint wash is. It's just a watered down paint. So, and I usually mix 50-50. I just kind of get it to a consistency where it's not like real watery, but it's a little drippy. Okay, so once I get my mixture like I want it, I'm just going to cover the entire surface, and then we're going to start removing some of it. But as you will notice, it does tend to dry quickly like this. So I'm going to spritz it a little bit with water. That's just water in my mister right there. And I'm taking some damp cheesecloth. So it is important that you have it damp. And then I'm going to just start removing some of the paint. And usually I use like a little swirly motion, and you'll kind of have to be a little heavy-handed with this. But again, if it doesn't start coming off, then you'll want to just spritz it a little bit more with water. You'll also have to keep turning your rag, whatever rag you're using. I do like the cheesecloth, but you'll have to kind of start turning it and using different areas of it, because it just gets coated with paint, and before you know it, you're just putting more paint on instead of taking it off. It's also a good idea just to have several of these rags on hand. If not, I would just maybe rinse them out every now and then and start over with a clean, damp rag. But it's easier for me, and you can just work a lot faster if you just have several rags on hand. And if you see where you've taken too much off, or you don't have enough on there, you can always just paint a little more on there and just go with the same process. And then once we get both of them done, I'm just going to take a heat gun and quickly dry them, and then we'll start the stamping. See how good this looks? I love this technique, and you can do it with so many different colors. So here I have the La Campagna stamp by IOD, and it has these really pretty floral pieces. So I'm just kind of seeing how to arrange them on there, and then I'm taking the black ink by IOD, and I'm also going to use a brayer to apply the ink. Sometimes I'm just a little neater with the brayer. So after rolling the brayer through the ink, I'm just gonna coat the stamp, and you want to make sure you get it pretty soaked with the ink. So I will roll this my brayer in there, 2 or 3 times. These stamps are a little large, and so I just want to make sure that I have plenty of ink to get a nice crisp image. Now, I never pulled this stamp away from the plastic that it came on. I just cut around it. That way it gave me a little edge to pick up. So I picked it up, and then you just kind of place it on your surface. Try not to shift it. And then you just kind of press down with your fingers. Again, making sure that you don't shift the stamp. I usually hold it down with one hand and then press down with my other, and just making sure that I hit all the little points of the stamp so I can get it, I can get a full image. Then you just lift it up, and I just love this. I love how it gives a sort of a vintage look with the stamp. The stamps are made where the images tend to look a little distressed. So anyway, now I'm just going to repeat the same process with the next piece. Again, rubbing my brayer through the ink, coating the stamp, and pressing it down. Now the only difference in this one was a little bit larger, so you can see where there's a little section that kind of went outside of the little framed area right there. And so I tried not to put ink on that area because I didn't want it on the, on the little frame portion of the plaque. So again, I'm just holding it down with one hand, using the other one to press all the little points down. And again, you lift it up, and you just have this pretty little vintage piece of art. I just really love how these turned out. Very simple. I think they're very elegant, and can be used in just about anywhere in your home. So here's a closer look where you can see all the nice little details of the stamp. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful.